So I'd like to ask you, since what are the most common health challenges that you see in children and adolescents today? And what are the most important issues that you would like to highlight for parents and caregivers like us?
Again, I think the couple of anxiety I am seeing a lot. ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, where children, teenagers, they struggle paying attention, zoning out, get distracted very easily. Depression, school related stress, that is also especially academic pressure, extracurricular activities, depending on especially if you're in middle school, bullying, high school, when you are determining what career path you choose. So junior year, senior year can get pretty difficult. And so those are the top concerns. But the other thing is social media pressure that I'm seeing nowadays, that, what people are posting, how they are posting. Because of that, yeah, they are their body image, weight, suicidality, and similarly the academic competition also play a major role, because I strongly believe the sports, as extracurricular activities, these need to be more like a fun. But unfortunately, what I'm seeing that it is adding significantly more pressure, sometimes more than academic pressure, because because it just, instead of becoming it more fun and more relaxing, it is actually causing more stress and more depression and anxiety.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. And that's quite a long list of challenges that you described. But I'm pretty sure that they're actually a huge concern at the moment in children and adolescents. But the other thing that I wanted to highlight was that we as parents, and a lot of times, care providers, even sometimes teachers, tend to minimize these issues, or we're like, we attribute it to like, hey, you're just, the kid is just being lazy, they don't want to do it, they're finding excuses not to do it. But at the same time, this issue is becoming more and more to the forefront, and a lot of times we feel like that maybe kids are using it as an excuse. So what's the fine balance? How do you really kind of weed or figure out if it's actually real, or if it's just kid actually being lazy? Because I feel like I hear stories, or I hear both sides of the argument, and then it becomes harder and harder, because a lot of times, people coming from our backgrounds, like South Asian backgrounds, we as parents tend to be like, hey, no, you're a kid, how can something be wrong with you? You're just being lazy, you're just trying to make up excuses to get out of that thing. But on the other hand, I feel like more so in the Western world, it's becoming more and more like, oh, maybe it's just, I feel like it's becoming harder and harder for us to strike a balance where we feel like, okay, this is a problem, versus no, this is really just a kid being a kid.
So let me give you, because this is a very important question, and the Eid is coming in a few days. So let me give you a couple of example, and then will lead to how we can manifest these example that we learned from our prophets in current days. So let's take Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam. When he saw, as a Muslim, what we know, that he has this dream, that he need to sacrifice his son. So we as Muslim is more Hazrat Ismail, and some is Hazrat Ishaq, Isaac, and so there are different narrative there. But the interesting part which I want to highlight, so now this is a prophet message directly from Allah, that this is, you have to do. But before doing it, he is asking his son, what do you think?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that I grew up in South Asia, I learned, that being strong, just keep hard work, ignore all those, the function, the parents used to sell, don't think about, this sadness, depression, just work hard, you will get good marks. And so although we have seen all these practices might have helped us, okay, we have seen these practices may have helped other growing up, but we are raising children there. So I think it's important to ask, if we want our children to, excel, and if we are seeing they're using this as an excuse, to having this conversation, what do they think, and being open to what they are, sharing it. So that's one example. Being a parent, the second example I gave from Hazrat Noah alayhi salam, Prophet Noah. Again, Prophet, has been preaching for so many years, but even his own son did not follow what he was trying to say. But that does not make him as a bad parent.
Mm.
So the second point that I'm trying to highlight is that our children, if they are, doing something that so more disrespectful, they are failing in few things, or they are not being respectful, it doesn't mean that you as a parent is failing. It doesn't mean there is something wrong in your child. So that's the second thing. So that being said, and then I will share, Maula Ali's quotation that, we should not raise our kids the way we are being raised. Our children are born for a different time and a different generation. So that preface, let me go back to your question. So either my child is making an excuse, or my child is actually lazy for this, what they are saying, not working hard in school, or not doing homework and getting 6 hours on video game. I think it's important to have this conversation with our children. I think what is happening is that our children are feeling that our parents are telling us what to do without listening to us. Because children, they need parents' advice, they need parents' wisdom, they need them to guide them, but guide them in a way that they feel being heard, they feel being understood, they feel being listened. I think what is happening is, the way we grew up, most of us, and I'm not saying that, again, not that our parents have done something wrong. This is the best they could have done. But if I ask most of us, how many times we are being, understood, being respected who we are by our culture, or by our community, or by our loved ones. Mostly we have done, this is the thing to do, you work hard. And, and we have seen these things are helping. So what I'm trying to say now, this is a different time, just like Hazrat Ali is saying. We need to sit with our kids, that I feel, that you are spending more time on, video game. And when I ask you, why you're not putting enough time to homework, or when I ask you, why you are not, doing your schoolwork, and you are saying this thing, I feel that, that's something I am missing. Don't label it as lazy. I think something I'm missing that I'm not understanding. Can we work together? Can I able to see, and can we talk about how to help you, so that you can do things which are important, like schoolwork, sleep, dinner, family time, and then you can have some time where you can connect with your online friend, where you can play video games. So the key is, instead of labeling, instead of judging, instead of assuming, have that open discussion with them.
Okay, so maintaining a dialogue at all time is the key. Having an open channel of conversation where the kids can come and speak to you, and feel that they're being respected, their opinions are being considered, at least before making any decisions about what should be done. So an open dialogue is extremely important.